Speaks, GNV, bringing poetry and people together, and Art Speaks, courageous young voices. And that's why we are here today, to celebrate the voices of our young adults. So thank you all for coming out. This year's a little different, you know, because of COVID and all of the restrictions and everything. So I want to really thank you for coming out. All our teens, young people, for coming out and sharing their voices with us. And your voices is important to us, and we are eager to hear what you have to say. So thank you for coming out and sharing your voice with us again this year. We're just happy. I'm just happy to see. I'm just happy to see everybody. I mean, because I didn't know who was going to show up this year. Normally we have a lot of teens sign up. This year's been a little different because of COVID, and probably maybe we want to get your opinion, get your thoughts. Maybe Valia maybe will interview some of you. She's right here videotaping everything. This event is going to be filmed. It's going to be filmed and edited and aired by the city. I'm going to have Russell come up, and he's the cultural affairs manager. He can tell you about that aspect of it. But I just want to once again welcome you here. We have some tremendous young people here this evening to share their voice with us. Brittany Coleman is going to be emceeing the event. So I'm going to just sit down, take photos. You're going to hear Russell, and then Brittany's going to come up, and then we'll get started with the wonderful voices of our young people and hear their poetry. I'm just eager to hear, what they have to say. Okay, Russell, you want to come up? Thank you once again for coming out.
Thanks, Dan. Great to see you all. As Dan said, I'm Russell Etling. I'm the Cultural Affairs Manager with the City of Gainesville Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs Department. And on behalf of our Interim Director, Roxanne Gonzalez, we welcome you to the historic Thomas Center. This is a wonderful building that was first occupied as a house in 1910, and then in 1928 was opened as a grand hotel for the City of Gainesville, and for 40 years ran as a hotel, and then was for a little bit the temporary home of Santa Fe College until they moved to their new campus, and then 41 years ago opened up as a cultural center for the community for events just like this. The City of Gainesville has been so pleased to be a partner for, I think it's 8 years now, with ARTSPEAKS, presenting these programs to bring our cultural community together. Usually we have a lot more community here for the public events, but we are so pleased that at least we can have this group. There's frankly only been, I think, 3 events here at the Thomas Center, 2 very small weddings and this event in the last year. So we got special permission from City Manager to operate a safely administered program so that we could bring this program together, because we know how very important it is that we empower our youth, particularly through the arts, and to hear your voices, which means so much to us. We're so pleased that Valer is here to record the program. We will likely stream it on the city's social media pages, and then I would imagine on the ARTSPEAKS Facebook page as well. I just want to say how very, very much we appreciate the creativity that you all have, and we beg you to keep it on. It is so important for your soul and for the soul of this entire community to have art and culture in our everyday life. And that's what we're here for as a Cultural Affairs Division, and what this building is about. It embodies the spirit of the community, the beauty of the work that you do day in and day out, and the potential for the community we all dream of becoming. So thank you very much. Can't wait to hear the poems, and thank you.
Good afternoon. Like you said, my name is Brittany, and I'm going to be keeping it moving through the night, or through the day. And I don't know if you've ever been here before, but this is like one of my favorite events of the year. When you want to know about what's going on in the world, when you want perspective about social movements or what's happening, you don't have to look any further than poetry, than spoken word, than the arts in general. And I'm just really excited about some of the performers because we have some veterans today and we also have some folks doing it for the very first time. So I know it's a limited crowd because of COVID, but when they come up, I'm going to need you to clap. I'm going to need you to show them some support. If they say something during their piece that moves you, we do some snaps. Can I see your snaps? Can I see your snaps? Yes, we do some snaps. If they say something particularly moving and you want them to go back, who knows what you say? Rewind, and then they know to stop, go back, and then keep going. Okay, so we're going to keep it moving. We're really excited. And for the folks that are going to be watching this later, it's going to be streamed. So like it, share it, love it, because the artists are going to see it later. Okay. And our first piece is by Jackson, and it is called 2021.
The year is 2021. Disgust and resentment, I can still feel the tension. I just want acceptance. I'll be an independent, make a statement. I'm a boy, I'm not a toy. I yell in my head, the voice is yelling back, you're better off dead. Dysphoria is a horrible experience. My family is furious. I cut off my hair. They said, that's not fair. I screamed. I cried. I broke down, lost fight after fight. I'm not pink, I'm blue. I was happy being me, yet it wasn't all that great. I should have known people would discriminate. They hate when kids choose their own fate. They hate when kids show their individuality. They hate when kids voice their broken mentality. They say it's fake, yet another life their words take. The year is 2021. Yet no difference was really made. Some hate has begun to fade, but more has begun to rise. Resentment, hate, despise, you can see it clearly in their eyes. The year is 2021. It's the year I'll make them see. It's the year I'll finally be made. No more masks, rimmed with blades, paper thin as words and lines cut deeper into skin. That silver blade no longer might fit. Now that I clearly see who I'm meant to be, a mirror stands before me. The crippled image becoming clearer to see. The year may be 2021, but there was a year where I was invisible. No one noticed, not a single day. I'm fine, I would say. But the look in my eyes said it was a lie. There was a year, not so long ago, when I would ask myself if I should roll my sleeves and grab the blade, do the deed, the price I would pay. Grab the blade, scar and line, try to trace the shape. Memory of self-hate. I was bruised, bloody, broken, and torn. All the sadness gripped me like a thorn. The year is 2021. But there was a year I would have died. Never thought I'd make it this far, and yet here I stand, scars scattered, heart open, voice heard. Here I stand, who I'm proud of whom I'm becoming.
And I didn't mention this before, but this is not a censored event. So everything that these artists are going to talk about is their real life, it is their experience, and it's important for them to be able to talk about it however they want to talk about it. So you might hear some cursing, you might hear some topics like suicide, like transitioning, like bullying, depression, racial injustice and oppression, and it might make you uncomfortable, and I want you to lean into that discomfort because it's important, okay? Our next performer is Caleb, and he's got two pieces that are untitled.
Let the darkness take hold, let the fear sink in. Pain and sorrow are your only friend. You try to do the right thing, try to be the perfect man, but you fail at every turn. A disappointment I have become. I failed her like I failed everyone else. I'm just a corpse walking the streets that my pain is laid. Flowing like a river, forgiveness I do not deserve. Penance I cannot take as the demons sink in the glass. Begins to crack, scars begin to show, and the thought of making more begins to grow. Suffering is all I feel, her pain and my pain in a unison. Like a perfect symphony, tears fall down my face. The fear of her hate begins to take place. Death should just bring less grief, while letting the reaper just reap. darkness, a being of rage and sorrow. It stretches and eclipses all at an insurmountable distance. For if you do not stop it, it will never end. Light, a being of hope and purity. It shines as infinite as darkness does eclipse, but always seems to be balanced by its opposite balance. A center of harmony. Between both Between both eclipsing darkness and piercing light, a center that takes decades to even get a glimpse of. All that is possible can be well balanced, but being balanced can never be found. Being balanced means that you are able to pave a path with the piercing shine of light while still keeping the eclipsing shadow of darkness alive. Balance is not perfection, it's the opposite actually. Because only when you have walked the path of brimstone and come out still walking, can you actually say you're balanced.
Eli, dear suicidal me.
Dear suicidal me, what happened today? Was it a good day? Bad? Just okay? Rate today on a scale of 1 to 10. So today wasn't so good. Seems like a 1.5. Now tell me why. Why was today such a bad day? Maybe you overslept, or forgot to take your meds. Maybe you just had a bad day. Because that happens too. Dear suicidal me, there may be no reason. Or there could be a lot of reasons. Bad days come and go, and come and go, and come and go, you get it. Dear suicidal me, let's ask a few more questions. What made it a 1.5 instead of just a 1? Dear suicidal me, what is something good that happened today, even if it was small? You got a hug from mom, the weather was nice, even if you just got out of bed. Did you take a shower? Did you play piano? What was good about today? But what went wrong? Dear suicidal me, you ask yourself that question a lot. What went wrong? What did you do wrong? How did you mess up this time? Dear suicidal me, you did nothing wrong. You woke up, you ate, your day turned to crap, you went to bed. You did nothing wrong. Dear suicidal me, if you are reading this, you survived today. You made it through the tough times, and now you can rest. You deserve it. You made a life-changing decision today. You chose to live. Dear suicidal me, now I'm not saying that this is the right decision, but if somehow one day this letter is not enough, and you decide, you make this final decision to end it all, just know, you did a good job. Your family loves you, your friends love you, and most importantly, I love you, dear suicidal me.
I think I make a habit of doing this after Eli performs, but I think it's important to kind of take a deep breath and appreciate the words that are being shared and the experiences that are had. Because I think we take it for granted that our kids, our youth are just, they have it perfect, they're okay at all times. And sometimes that's not true. And we want to be able to support them in the good times and the bad times. So thank you, Eli. And next we have Miss Adriana with Try.
Why try? Why try when there are tears in my eyes from all the sleepless nights and the constant fights for love? Why try to clinch onto life when I have to hide behind a smile that does nothing but shove me further into the depths of an ocean full of despair and desperation for less stress and more concentration, more purpose, more confidence? I'm tired of feeling dense, so why try? When all I wish for is a tour guide on this path of meaning and hope, for brighter days and finding ways to help me cope with the pain of feeling like I'm less than. Lord, give me a blessing so I can take a breath in and think of all the reasons I could back up on my feet and move forward in each week and each day. I can get up and say that there is a way, that there was a path, that there is a light, even though I can get back up and say that there is a way, that there was a path, that there is a light. Even though this life is a fight, I'm willing to right my wrongs and keep on moving on, for there is sunshine after every storm. Yes, sometimes I may stop and miss a step as I'm moving up, I begin to drown in the sounds of the voices that pull me down, in the noises that cause my head to pound, and now I'm back where I started. Why? Why try to be someone who no one wants me to be, telling me who I shall be in the years that approach me? And in those same moments of feeling low, I know that the place left to go is to my knees, wondering, can you hear me? Yes. But how do I know? Because I begin to grow. I begin to rise, holding my head high with faith to the sky. I can then pause and realize that I've come this far because I tried.
Thank you, Adriana. That was fantastic. And next we have Madison with A Herd in the Storm.
The horse's hooves thumping to the ground like the flash of a lightning. The neighs in the wind like a crackle of fire. The beat of the drum like a beat of a heart. Then silence, quieter than the mass in the distance. Nothing. Then the herd is gone in the vast distance.
And next we have Perry with Knee Deep.
Red, the color of roses, both alive and dead. The fruits of our lives, what we plant and what dies, how we strive in our efforts to give and survive. Crimson blood on the pearly white snow as we fight our wars that come and that go. Orange, the color of tulips on the fresh green grass. May I pick just one? I want to ask. The color of the sunset on the star-strewn sky. There's Libra, there's Virgo, even old Gemini. Yellow, daffodils, buttercups, blossoms galore, the warm summer sun as I swim to the shore. The color of happiness, energetic but glum. Such joyous days, how I yearn for just some. Green, the color of nature, Adam and Eve, a flower field with the rare kind of leaf. Luck and prosperity, an abundance of money. In soft green grass hops a small brown bunny. Blue, sparkling water, large crested waves, a beach at sunset, a serene crystal cave. Watching clouds on a clear sunny day. So calm, so peaceful, this is where I will stay. Purple, amethyst, violets, lavender, lilacs. Angels from above with clouds on their backs. Torrential rain, excruciating pain, a wilting rose and an indigo flame. This spectrum of Roy G. Biv is how we try, how we die, how we give, how we live. The rainbow, the Niji, the arco-iris. These traits alone are plenty desirous. Roses are red, violets are blue. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you.
And we have Miss Niley, and she has an untitled piece.
Some things in life doesn't go as planned, good or bad. You don't know what the future holds. Some years are tears and stress, while others are joy and happiness, and all is well. Now I sit and dream about my future, and my dream will become real. Some things in life will put you behind, like COVID, pushes you to come better and enjoy small things. You may never know how it helps in the future. People struggle and need help. Give them a place to stay until they get on their feet. Sometimes you have to stay quiet, because there are things that words can't explain. Doesn't mean it's the wrong thing. Never give up, no matter what happens. Stay strong and believe all things are well.
Next, we have Miss Faith with Perverted World.
We live in a perverted world where it's hard to find your purpose, and it's hard to be like Christ when you know that you ain't perfect. And I'm a tough cookie, but I'm tired of hurting. Plus this pain too much to bear, and these depression pills ain't working. And I just want to be everything they said I couldn't, and I just want to do everything they said I wouldn't. But lately I ain't feeling myself. Trying to heal others when I need healing myself. Doing things I know I shouldn't. Aiming at my conscience, still trying to dodge a bullet. Lord, pardon me for not walking in your image, but why people gotta struggle while others get to be privileged? I'm trying to push forward because I can't change what I've been through. Sent messages up to heaven, I'm just praying that they get through. For some reason it's hit harder when you standing in my shoes. Sometimes I feel like giving up because either way I still lose. And here I am, trying to wallow in my pool of sorrow. Tired of hearing get through the day just to end up here tomorrow. Tired of putting on a mask and being filled with shame when they expose the real me and show my 50 shades of pain.
Rewind.
And here I am, trying to wallow in my pool of sorrow. Tired of hearing get through the day just to end up here tomorrow. Tired of putting on a mask and being filled with shame when they expose the real me and show my 50 shades of pain.
And last in the mic we have Marvin, and he's got Man in the Mirror.
Sometimes
I feel I ain't enough. Because I swear I've been stained enough. But I won't complain this, brother. See, just maybe it's still raining because it hasn't rained enough. Maybe all the pain is necessary because something tells me, yeah, you asked for it. So take it like a G. And it's crazy with the way that life can be because I remember saying, Lord, help me be a man. Go ahead and do what you must do. And Lord, I trust you. And I swear he ain't been showing me no mercy. It's just his way of showing me he heard me. I try hard, but I can't convince myself to work. There's something for me greater. To make it through the storm only makes the story greater. Yeah. There's something for me greater. To make it through the storm only makes the story greater. Yeah, it did shake me up. That I lost my dream girl because I said, wake me up. Had to learn to breathe without her. I swear I was a ghost to myself. My reflection is what I had to learn to see without her. Sweet love turned sour right before my eyes. Then I read Exodus 20 verse 5. I believe it said, for I the Lord am a jealous God. I know I told him not to spare the rod. No time did he waste. It's such a fast pace. He found a way to move my first love to last place. And claim back his spot. He couldn't take losing no longer. I'm thankful though because we both struggle. That's all that really matters. And even though we now on different chapters, I wish your life full of endless laughter, love, because you deserve it. So now we standing where the end of the road is. Make sure you stay as beautiful as your soul is. I must accept nothing stays the same. But all in all, I can't complain, not at all over nothing. We all go through something. Success isn't measured on position, but by the obstacles you overcome it. I'm trying hard, but attempts lead to failure. I feel he's saying, humble yourself. There's something that I need to tell you. To grow without me is a seed for failure. I know they're saying follow your heart. Remember that I lead you better. Son, I've been missing you. But you missing me, see you can't complete the puzzle because you need the missing piece. I see you fight to hold together, but you need the missing link. Let me show you. Things been a little heavy for you. I want to hear from you even if the call's short. I love you even when you fall short. I feel he's saying, but still my focus was off, only after money. So it's ironic how my vision started acting funny. Is it the ending for me? This disease in my eyes got my vision blurry. Despite the fact that I feel that my heart been bleeding. Maybe he cut it just to stuff it. With every single thing that my heart been needing. I'm seeing everything will happen in the scheduled time. Asking and will be given, Luke 11:9. Now I'm seeking, I will find what is chosen for me. I'm knocking till the door opens for me. So let the rain soak me. Lord, dry me when the pain soak me. I can't forget the way you fixed me when the pain broke me. I look around and see I'm knocking there by myself. I'm checking off what I was once scared to try myself. I think the good, but I should think the pain more. More growth is needed. It'll rain more. So let the rain pour. I'm amazed what I'm looking at. And I'm amazed what it's looking back. The day is brighter. The sky's clearer. Because I'm finally learning how to love the man in the mirror. I see the day is brighter. The sky's clearer. Because I'm finally learning to love this man in the mirror.
I know a girl named Karma. Payback's her daughter. It runs in the fam, revenge was her father. His mama named Bitter, so you know she taught him how to get someone back if they started a problem. 2 twin cousins, jealousy and envy. A one-way ticket to hell, they trying to send me. I know every time they hear me, they fear me cause they were raised up by Uncle Insecurity. See, Auntie Laya was the one that he married and he found out the truth about the seed that she carried. Her son's name Fake, but he looks like Phony, and Phony's supposed to be Insecurity's homie. Well, at least that's what gossip told me. A little information that she got from Nosy. Her mom was drama. What a mom. Single mother. Baby daddy named Flaw. And Flaw got a brother named Fraud. And Fraud made a living off stealing credit cards till he later got caught. And everything got real. His wife's name Felicia. Nicknamed Squeal. Her cousin Hothead had a lot of rage. Pop people in the head, make them drop dead. Rest in peace, cool. That was my homie too. The coolest people die young, and that's living proof. His stepbrother heard the news in the living room. His name's Sorrow, so you know what he finna do. And now I introduced his mom, Depression. He swallowed all the pills that she left up on the dresser. Man, Sorrow, your family is weeping. Regret walked in and he thought you was sleeping. When he heard you were dead, it wasn't lovely. I seen it with Misery, cause he needed company. The type of company that Misery makes. She had AIDS. Regret made a bigger mistake. Things crazy. Like the day I ran into Big Sis Hate, and yes, she hates me to this day. But Miss Hate married a brother named Great, and opposites attract, so everything's straight. But we only just begun. This is the new fate. When they had a little son, his name was Two-Faced. Had me in the church, Daddy Roddy moved away. Hip plotting to do while smiling in his face, and yeah, he wanna do great. Seeing from his father's eyes, but his motto homicide, got it from his mama's side. So cool and sorrow had a funeral. Sister hypocrite judging as usual. Walk past the needy, begging while the walking in. Then goes the deacon asking for offering, and gossip there just to get a talking in. Like who showed up and what color the casket is. Text message from a best friend nosy with the news. Guess what just happened? She was sliding to the corner store, pulled up while hot hair was walking out the door, and out of nowhere, this young lady approached, pulled out the fofo and let off about 4, stood over her body and let off a lot more. Emptied the clip, hopped in the whip and got gone. So much for Cool's killer, but who's the chick that left hot head there, shot dead, full of hot lead? It was that girl named Karma, payback's her daughter. It runs in the family. Revenge was her father. His mama named Bitter, so you know she taught him how to get someone back if they started a problem.
Wow. Well, this year it was a little rough, a little difficult connecting with all of the. Normally, I connect with the teachers and the educators, and they were all, I guess, out of their normal routine of how school is conducted, so they were a little bit upside down and sideways, so it's hard to connect with folks. We normally have a group of teens that been coming every year from Lake City at Columbia High School. They have a poetry club there called Method Poetry, and it was difficult connecting with their teacher, just about how school is. Some are in class, some are in person, some are virtual, so it was just difficult connecting with the teachers this year. Well, just for myself, I mean, writing is how I pretty much, my most effective way of just expressing myself. Writing is for me, and I know it's cathartic. It's cathartic for me. It's a form of healing for me. So I know being a teen, and this platform is just for that purpose. And with being on lockdown and isolated sometimes from your friends, from school, everything being different, I know that suicide rates are up with teens, which is something terrible. So this platform gives young people an outlet to express themselves, to come out and just empty everything that may be inside of them, and just put it on paper and through a poem or through a spoken word piece. We had quite a few poems this year about suicide. I know one of the teens, I met the parent a few years ago because there was a local middle school that wouldn't allow the teen the teen had a musical piece that they wanted to perform in the talent show. And I didn't know the person, I just happened to be on Facebook, and the mother was venting about they wouldn't let their child perform this particular piece because it had elements of suicide. So I reached out to the parent and said, look, we have a program, a platform called ARTSPEAKS, Courageous on Voices. Would it be ideal for your child? This is what it's set up for. This is a space for that kind of expression, whatever that is. And I welcomed them, and they came, and that was their first time performing. But stuff like that, things like that. So it's a place for teens to come, young people to come, express themselves, uncensored, whatever it is. We welcome their voice. It's all about their voice, and it's a platform for that. And we're just really, really fortunate, and we want to thank the city of Gainesville and Russell Etling, the cultural affairs manager, because this place was on lockdown, and they opened it up due to special circumstances. And because ARTSPEAKS is so essential and vital to mental health, so they allowed us to have it here this year, and we were just so grateful and thankful that we were able to put it on again this year in spite of COVID, because I was a little anxious. Normally this place is packed. A normal event, we've had like maybe 20, 25 teens, and we run for hours because we want everyone to be able to express themselves. And the gallery is packed, but this year we didn't have that many teens. We had, I think, maybe like 7 or 8, maybe something like that, which turned out to be good. They came with their support, with their parents and some support and friends, and we had a wonderful event this year. I'm thankful for that, and it was special. The teams that came out, I think they really meant a lot to them. So we had quite a few people who were first-time participants. We had some people who have, some teams who have been here before, but we had a few that were this first time, and so that was cool. So I'm just happy we had some teams come out and they were able to express themselves through the art of poetry, spoken word, and storytelling. ARTSPEAKS GNV, we normally have 2 events a year. A teen event, which is the one we're having today, and an adult event. We didn't have our adult event in 2020. Last year, during this time, we were fortunate to have our teen event, and we brought a young man in from Baltimore, Grim Jackson, and I think the next week maybe everything shut down. So we were fortunate last year to have our annual event. And normally we have 2 events. But one thing ArtSpeaks, we're going to be doing, we partnered with the National Youth Poet Laureate Program, the same program that Amanda Gorman came out of, and she was the very first National Youth Poet Laureate. So we partnered with them, and we're going to introduce the National Youth Poet Laureate Program to our area under the Alachua County North Central Florida Youth Poet Laureate Program, and it's going to be Alachua County and 9 other surrounding counties, other rural counties. We want to give teens in some of these other smaller counties an opportunity to have a chance to compete and to just to access that particular program. So if you live in, I can't really name all the counties right now, but it's Alachua, Marion, Union, Levy, Gilchrist, and some Lafayette, I think, some others. They're about Putnam, I think, but Alachua and maybe 9. So it's 10 counties in all, and most of them are rural. So we want to give teens in those counties the opportunity to access the program. So we're opening it up to all those counties. So we're looking forward to that, and we're going to kick that off in the fall, over the summer. Then when school gets back in, maybe things will be somewhat back to normal. But we're going to try to introduce that program to our area. So I'm looking forward to that.
The city has been a partner with ArtSpeaks for 8 years now, presenting the Bringing People in Poetry Together program and the Courageous Young Voices program, which is what we heard today. It is an amazing program on so many levels, but one of the things it does is it helps fulfill the city's mission of building the capacity of our cultural community and providing affordable, accessible access to the arts. The program is empowering on so many levels because these young poets sometimes have never performed publicly, and they have so much to say. And Stan Richardson has provided this extraordinary platform for them to express themselves in such a meaningful and powerful way.
All right. And what were your thoughts on this year's performances?
Well, as in every year, the performances are moving, sometimes funny, sometimes thought-provoking, challenging, and I thought they were indicative of the great talent we have in our young people. And you have to give credit as well to the teachers in the school system who can bring out that talent in these young people. I think all of us are forever changed by this last year, we have to do with isolation, with lack of face-to-face communication with our peers, our family, and we have all tried to search for vehicles to express ourselves and to find some sort of meaning in this worldwide catastrophe. Poetry, I think, is one of the great art forms that dates back millennia, and it's always interesting to me how in 2021, thousands of years after the first poem was probably publicly read, it is still as powerful and as meaningful and as moving. It is one of the great joys I have as the Cultural Affairs Manager to be able to present this and as a human being to experience it. ARTSPEAKS really is symbolic of the cultural community here in Gainesville. It can be quiet, it can be undiscovered, but when you finally see it, when you finally experience it, you are forever changed. I just encourage everybody to find their inner creativity, whether it's doodling on a notebook pad or painting a painting or singing a song or just experiencing art in a museum or in a cultural venue. The creative process changes us forever. And it's always been my personal mission to entertain, to educate, and inspire. And I think ARTSPEAKS is indicative of those three things.
The last year, when we did ARTSPEAKS for the youth, we got in right before the pandemic hit, and we had to cancel ARTSPEAKS for the adults. So it was really important for us to get this, I think, back on schedule. And so it was really between East Stanley and the city, and just really being cooperative and trying to figure out the best way to do this. So we did have a limited crowd this year. We were social distance. Everyone had to wear a mask. And parents got to sit in, but it was closed to the general public. So I think we were successful. I think it was a safe event and a really great event. I thought they were great. One of the things that we like to tell people is that this is not a censored event, and so the artists get to show up exactly how they are and get to talk about whatever they want. And so that brings topics that are funny and light, and it also brings topics that are a little bit harder to listen to, and I think that's really important because it gives a platform for them to be able to say what they need to say. I think the arts are crucial. I mean, it gives artists like myself, like the youth that perform today, an outlet to be able to express themselves, to release anxiety, depression, emotion, and it really gives them a space where they can do that in a safe way. I love being able to hear what the artists have to say. I mean, this is my favorite event of the year, and you hear something different every year, and you leave, I think, as almost a better person. Like, you grow after you hear what they have to say.
Mine is 2021 because I think it was last year that there was the Pride Wars, I think. And I know that a lot of people, especially teenagers and kids that are first finding out who they really are, they keep getting a lot of discrimination and hate, and there's a lot of parents that don't accept them and are transphobic, homophobic, and just, they can do a lot of harm to those kids. I personally am not accepted by my family, and I know a few friends that are not in the best situations because of their families. I basically got my cologne because based on how I feel and the anger that I feel towards the people that are hating on us for who we are and how we're trying to live, and just telling everyone who I really am is just what I want to do.
My poem was called Dear Suicidal Me. In the past 2 years, or maybe, 2 years now, I've been into a psychiatric hospital 17 times, about a week each time. And after 17 times, they said, let's send you to a residential. So I was gonna live there for 3 to 6 months. And I was scared, but I read all the reviews. I looked at the magazine they gave us. I read everything about it, and it seemed like such a great place. When I got there, I only stayed for a week because they were abusive. They wouldn't call me my name. They wouldn't do anything for me. But there was one thing that I did like about it, and it was the poetry group that we did that week. And they told us to write anything you wanted, but it had to be a letter called Dear Suicidal Me. And you kind of wrote to yourself so that when you're feeling suicidal, you read it to yourself. And it's just a reminder that says you made it through all the other days, you can make it through this day, and to tell your past self that it's okay, that like your past self has felt this and your future self will feel this. So I kind of wrote it just to make sure that I stay safe, and that even if one day I don't stay safe, that no one's gonna be mad at me. They might be mad at the situation, they'll be upset at the situation, but I know that I've done good in the world, and I know that I've been loved, and I know that I love myself in the future.
They've helped my anxiety drop lower in these past few years. I found out that I could paint. I was like watching some paint videos on YouTube, and I wanted to try it. So we went to the store and got some paints and some canvases and brushes, and I started painting. First it was just simple things, and then I went into sunsets, and then my favorite one so far that I've done is a night sky on one half and a sunset on the other, yin yang. And just the painting itself kind of inspired me to just try to relax more and just find my inner peace. And it's not just painting that I found. I would read, and I would write poetry and stories, and I would draw and just do anything that I could to express my emotions. That way I wouldn't be so tempted to do what my demons and what my inner thoughts were saying. And honestly, it just helped me so much in this past year. I'm thankful for the ability to do that.
Okay. For me, art has always been something that I have loved. I think in 2nd grade, I got my artwork into the courthouse, not the courthouse, I don't know what it's called, like the mayor, I don't know. I got it there, and I got it shown on TV, just a little artwork that I did in art class, and I just kind of kept on with doing like physical art, as in like drawing and painting and pastels, but then I always wanted to sing. I still want to be a singer in a band. That's what I want to do. And going through that, my grandparents are like, you should be a doctor, you should be a scientist because you're good at science. I don't want to do that. The art has helped me become who I am. I have written songs. I've been here 4 years now, and I love that being able to express myself helps other people express themselves.
Meeting new people. Just meeting new friends or possible friends, and just new people in general. Because you get to meet new people, see and hear and feel what they're going through, and connect with a certain level on understanding, because you've been there, you've been through what they're feeling, and you just want to help, you want to reach out, and you want to be there and support them, because not everybody has the support that they need.
So just if you're able to reach a hand out and help somebody that really needs it, then that's good. You do it. I love meeting new people because I met Eli here. And when we met, they were really going through some tough times. And I could help them through a lot of that. And I'm thankful that he is still here today. And if it was because I helped some, then that makes me even happier. But it's also because he has a supporting family.
Yeah. The best thing about ARTSPEAKS for me is, like he said, meeting new people, but really getting, like, heard. Just being up on a stand and people actually listening. You know when they're listening when you hear the snaps. You know they're listening when they clap at the end. You know they're listening when they say rewind. You have a certain point in your poem where you're like, okay, I know these people are listening, because you can see in their eyes, you can see in their smiles that they are understanding and they're listening to what you're saying. And that's what I want in my life. I want to be heard. I want all of my emotions to just get out there and help other people, and for other people to help me.
I think the first one I figured I was going to call depression. And then the second one I called balance. When I wrote depression, I was in a really bad time at the really bad breakup. And I was thinking about ending it. Writing that kind of helped me get over it. And I wrote it on a sheet of paper too, and I ended up burning it. For balance, I've always been kind of a technical guy. Tried to find equality in everything. Never saw why people would think about race or anything like that. So I thought, why not describe balance to people? Drawing and writing poetry has always helped express my feelings a lot. Ever since I was a kid, ever since I drew my first stick figure, it's always been the easiest thing for me to do. I don't like talking to people very much. I'm very into myself kind of guy. So most of the time, it's easier for me to express myself that way. If you want to come out and share your art, even if you don't, still try it. You know, you gotta come out of your zone sometime. And with depression and stuff like that, and you feeling like you're alone, you coming out here and you seeing there's gonna be people like you out here that might talk about or think about race or depression or suicide or any of that. They're gonna think on that too, just like you do. You might be able to find somebody who you can relate with.
So my poem is called The Niji, and the name is derived from rainbow in Japanese, which is Niji, and also in my poem I reference arco iris, which is rainbow in Spanish. So really, I see it as different people's differences, and they're all like all the colors of the rainbow are different colors, and they appear to be different, but in reality, they're all just a part of the rainbow. So it's all the same. They're different, but they're all unique in their own way, and they're the same.
So my poem is A Herd Storm. And so it is about this herd that's like going through a rough time. And what inspired me to write the poem was last year when I was at horseback riding camp, I had accidentally misplaced an adult with a foal, which was not her foal. And so I was shook because the horse had almost reared on me, and I could almost have got severely injured. So it kind of inspired me.
I've had some tough times in my life, and it's mainly just things learning about myself as I'm growing older into a teenager. And I kind of turned to drawing and writing. I'm also an artist, so
She's very good at it.
I have a few random sketches in here. But I like to sketch and draw and write. And I really like drawing because I feel like and writing as well, because I feel like there's no limit to it, and I can just write whatever, and when people listen to me, it makes me feel appreciated and validated.
So the arts have helped me. I don't really know how to word this, but so when I went through like a small tough time during July, I couldn't really like leave my house, and I would only talk to this one person online. Her name is Ava. She lives 3 hours away from here, and she is also another race, and so she got really sad because she felt like she could not leave her house, and so the arts helped us because so we would both listen to like the same type of music, and it would help us. And I also like learned how to dance in the water, which is called synchro, and it just helped me like express who I am.
I really love that you can just say whatever you're feeling. Someone did a poem about transitioning, and I thought that was like and someone did one about depression, and I thought that was really good to share because other people may have the same experiences, and I felt like I could just say whatever my poem said and I didn't have to be judged.
Yeah, so kind of basically what she said, like you can speak what your mind is and no one will judge you for it. It's all like, you're kind of like all circles and squares and like no one will judge you for it.
I mean, I really like this like program, and I really hope that I can come next year because I really liked how it was set up and how it worked.
Yeah, it was a very thought out program, and I like how it was set up and how everyone got to speak their own minds and just how it overall went, and I thought it was really well thought out, and thank you.
Oh, I absolutely love it. I love the way that they're able to express themselves, and I love actually the diverse topics. I think it's very important to allow youth to be able to express themselves, specifically in the arts, because it gives them kind of a place in life. All of the artists brought something different to the table tonight, and I think it's a great outlet to be able to express themselves specifically now. No, I just thank the city for allowing this. I think it's such a great advantage to be able to allow this platform for you.
The inspiration of my poem is really just based on how I've been feeling, and it was just a way for me to finally get it out of my system and onto any kind of paper or any kind of digital way where I could just read that over and see how it's going.
My poem was just about life and how I guess I was just feeling.
It's really good to see how people have their different perspectives on things and how they can express themselves.
Okay.
It was good. This is my first time, and I feel like just looking and seeing how people feel. I guess like to put my feet in their shoes.
ARTSPEAKS is always exciting, and it's great, and I always love supporting this and encouraging my students to take part. I see it as a bright spot in the year. It comes at a perfect time. Everything is kind of lagging a little bit, and this year I think it was especially important to have this outlet for the kids. I think my students need a place for their voices to be heard. It's been quite a time for them, and nothing is normal. They're worrying about just having a normal life. I teach seniors. They want to do the regular things like prom. Will they even have a graduation, or are they going to have to go through the racetrack again? They want grad bash. And so these are things that are important to them, but they're also seeing their whole world turned upside down by the politics and the ideals of the day. Whether you're on this side or the other, the kids are concerned, and they're looking at what's going on, and they're just kind of fed up. They're caught in the middle. So I think this is a great outlet for them, and it will be formative for them in years to come. I think we're going to see some budding, we've seen some budding wordsmiths, and they're going to take that skill and develop it, and they're going to be great communicators for their generation and the ideologies that come out of that generation. This is the fun part, and I've seen a couple of my students. I saw one student that I brought last year. She's no longer at my school at Eastside, but she found her way back, which says that it was beneficial for her and she wanted to take part. And there's another student that I have because we do the high flex. I teach online and digital, and one of my online students made it here. And honestly, I've never seen her except for on a camera, and then many times, honestly, the cameras are turned off a lot. So when she went up, it's my student. I talked about it with her, but she kind of sneaked in on me, and that was a pleasant surprise.
Karma was based off boredness in Perverted World. She told me she wanted a poem done, so I really just started writing about the world.
I thought they were good. I thought they were great, actually. I felt like Faith kicked it off. At the end, I told her to rewind one part, and she rewinded a little stanza, and I felt like it gave the crowd a better understanding of her poem.
That people get to voice their opinions.
That you could be creative.
Whenever the kids have an opportunity or platform to just share like their voices, it's always great. So the fact that Mr. Richardson was still able to make this happen in the midst of the pandemic, I think it was not only great, but also therapeutic for a lot of kids to have a platform and to, have their voices heard. And I'm sure, like a lot of us, this year has been crazy. So just having the chance to share their voice and to share their experiences and things, I think it was really great. So last year we had, I think, about 4 or 5 students perform. And yes, last year was our first year. And we had like a bunch of our students come and just support, which was really great. I think the only challenge this year was with COVID, not being able to provide, transportation for the kids who wanted to be here. And, making it smaller so the kids who wanted to support couldn't come as well. But those are the major challenges that I've seen. And again, like just having a larger crowd of people to come and support in the midst of a pandemic.
It's my first time performing in Gainesville. I'm actually from Orlando. I moved here last October. I was pretty avid with poetry there.
Okay.
And I also just came back from Tanzania, where I helped host a poetry event for youth in Iringa. A time of self-reflection, a deep time of self-reflection, yes. Yeah. We're forced to be alone now, so you have to have some kind of outlet. Poetry for me is that perfect outlet, because I graduated from UCF with an English major, creative writing, in 2019. I liked the welcoming. It wasn't any restriction, and I'm kind of glad I didn't go first, because I could fill out the room. I didn't know if it was some kind of topic, but they welcomed everybody's personal stories. So that is what I loved about it alone, especially the youth alone expressing themselves and having have a platform to do it, and a welcoming platform. So that's what I loved about it.